one more time. Right. So I'm just going to leave the chat for now, and then we can go through some of the things which I've been looking at. So right, cool, perfect. So like I mentioned this morning, this is obviously this morning's strength pairs. This is this afternoon. Obviously, yen has dropped one even since us speaking. So this is a strength index for those of you who haven't seen me go through this before. We've obviously got NZD at the top, and then obviously we've got GBP at the bottom. So what you want to normally do, look how much ground USD's made up, and look how much ground Swiss has actually lost here. So everything else is pretty much where it was this morning. Euro's obviously lost a couple spots, but nothing major. So what we want to do, at the beginning is obviously identify. Obviously, these are our top three, and these are our bottom three here. It's very, very easy. And then obviously, then we can look to trade against them. We've also got to look at where the dollar is and how much it's really moved during London. So our London session really it's moved from, let's say, hypothetically, I mean it's moved quite a bit. If we think about it, it's moved all the way up here, considering obviously how small Asia was. Where will it continue? Obviously we've got a little bit of support here. All right. So, we obviously need to be aware of that. But obviously, if this breaks, we should be coming down to 99. What will that do? That's going to trigger three pairs AUD USD. If we look at this on a higher time frame, pretty much, had this blur out and blur back, but looking pretty strong at the moment. This is the US or New York opening range here. I'd like to see it break out of here, and then we could see a nice push to the upside here. We've obviously had it equal low here, so that's a good sign that potentially we might at least climb up to this area here if US dollar weakens. Very, very, similar with NZD2. If you can see here, this level of support. I'm just going to get rid of this one here. This level of support here is holding up very, very nicely. We obviously struggled to break through with reacted well. So again, if I just get rid of this one, we're going to be looking for, that kind of confirmation that we're going to obviously continue to the upside as well as USD CAD was looking good. Check this on the 15 minute. If it's going to obviously bail to the downside, then obviously we again want to break out of this opening range here, that if even if we dragged it across, right, you can see how much support there is here. So if we do break through, then we obviously might see a nice continuation here. I don't really want to buy the US dollar too much at the moment. Yen pairs, obviously we've got Aussie, which would be good, but obviously I can see a bit of a trend here to the downside. So I'm not really that interested in yen this afternoon. Very, very, similar. We've obviously had this pump, this dump, and then we're just obviously holding on to this level at the moment. Pound yen obviously won't, but obviously we could get that opposite if yen starts to strengthen. Euro AUD, again, I quite like the AUD pairs because obviously we have been trending to the downside, but I don't like this really crazy movement. We obviously had this marked up earlier, in regards to we wanted price to drive up into this area. It almost has, and then obviously drive down from here. But obviously we didn't quite reach it, and it was a little bit earlier than when we trade. And obviously GBP 82, I like this one melting to the downside. Pounds been weak overall. We had a little bit of a retracement towards the end of London, but I just want to see a bit of confirmation here that we're gonna crash out to the downside here, and this one would be one which I'd be looking to hop onto. We've come up here, pretty much tested the Asian low here and reject it out, but let's wait and see. I would like to, hop on and sell here. And then we've obviously got Euro NZD, which is one that we marked out this morning too, has tapped in, but again, don't feel pressured. I had a couple messages on this earlier. What the reason I've got strict trading times is to stop me from over trading. All right, so if this was happening anytime now, I'd be like, yes, let's hop on it, we're gonna go. But obviously it's not. So we obviously need to make sure that trades happen when we want them to happen, not when not trying to make them happen. And then the last thing is GBP NCD. Obviously had this big crush with the pound CPI data. We have obviously retraced. We had a nice couple of candles here. Now just consolidating. I actually think if we can't break through here, then yes, I'd be looking to at least take this to the downside here. It's quite a nice trade actually, this 25 pips here. If this level holds, then yeah, I would be happy to take this one here. So, just going to monitor that on the 15-minute time frame to obviously see what happens. This one is one that I'm going to add in. Push the wrong button there. That was good. There we go. I'm just going to add this into the group now. So just obviously bear with me. Right, here we go. It's right, what was this? GBP NZD. Here we go. We'll have a look into gold as well because I do quite like where that is heading. Then we've got Euro NZD. I'm going to hold off on that one. I don't like that one as much. GBP AUD, very, very similar kind of trade. I want to see this happen before this happens here. Again, we've got a good risk to reward here. We only need to risk like 25 pips. And then obviously we can hop on the back of that one. So I would like to see, price holding here. So if we're on a 15-minute time frame, I want to see this holding, and then I want to see a nice continuation. Obviously, if we don't have a strong dollar, then we're obviously not going to just do this. I'll let this person in here. There we go. Then obviously we're not gonna this will continue to the upside. So just to be aware of that. AUD sell, there we go. So that is another one that I'm looking at here. Like I said, Euro AUD I'm gonna hold off on, and Euro NZD. And then I do like these dollar pairs, but dollar is just being absolutely relentless at the moment. Let's just have a quick scave, see if anything's updated quickly. Profit taking. Who can tell if there's profit taking? What a load of rubbish. Um, for ours ramps up. This is what we want with pound slumps, everything negative about pound. So, but it's more the dollar that I'm interested. There we go. All the only thing that we've got coming up today is the speakers. So we've obviously got Vice Chairman Barr speaking. He's one, but obviously there's not a lot here. Tuesday, President Trump rebut meeting request previous day saying he will not meet them until the government reopens. He is smart as hell. That guy is just smart, and so basically, he's not going to meet anyone until they've approved what he wants. You gotta love him, really, haven't you? So yeah, let's wait and see. I think I'm gonna go with these two because I just want them anywhere round here is perfect, and GBP NZD2. I want to see these crushed to the downside. Let's have a quick look at gold here. I actually like gold to trace a bit. Obviously got the Asian low here. We got London low here. So let's wait and see. What I think what we might see is two scenarios here on gold. I think we might see gold do something like this. So we need like a one to two potentially, or we might see gold come down and just spike this area here. Just test London low. I think when you've got London low and Asia low together, it's quite tough for it to break through, or you might get something like this happen, and then obviously a move here. I don't think we're going to be trading outside of this area here. I just don't think. I think there's just so much indecision in the markets that and obviously, why would anyone be taking profits on gold now? Nothing's happened yet. So yeah, let's wait and see. So that's one thing. Let's just have a check the chat. Afternoon, is this trade open? Yeah. The trade from yesterday's still open. Haven't entered any, new ones, because we have yeah, we're obviously always got our eye on over exposure and obviously over risk, so we're obviously not going to enter, if it's going to put, our account and obviously anyone else's account in danger. So, it might be slightly slower today on the copier, but obviously it will be ramping it back up again tomorrow. Yeah, I'm looking at these really AUD. I mean, I do like that we've obviously got, let's just got on this on a slightly higher time frame. So if we look at this on a 4 hour, right? I just cannot see dollar, keep strengthening the way it is. We've got obviously this holding here. We've then got Asian low here and London low here. Even if we were going to buy from here, and I do still like this. I mean, it's not a massive trade, but I probably want something like this. We could have ten pips here. I mean, it's a small stop loss, but just looks massive. I think if this level here holds, so I would be looking, if this level here holds, then yes, I think we could see this, just come up and test this high. We might just be stuck in a bit of consolidation here. So I'm just going to mark this one up too, because I like this. But I like a GBP NZD and GBP AUD more than any of them, pretty much where they are. But let me just put this one in here. Right, here we go. AUD, USD. Does anyone want me to look into anything else while I'm here? I'm happy to if anyone's looking at any trades or anything like that. Main thing to focus on is the dollar. Like I said, we've obviously got GBP AUD here. I'd like it. Look at this. That let's just wait a little bit longer, and obviously NZD higher than obviously what we're expecting. I actually do like where these are. 25 pips. I'm actually going to enter these. I'm actually going to enter both these. So let's wait and see how this goes on. That's on here. GBP. I do like them. And then GBP NZD. There we go. Let's wait and see. Just coming back slightly. That's good. Look at that. That's what we liked, isn't it? Caught that right at the top there. So it should be fine. We've got a 25 pip stop loss. What we want us to see here is just dollar just start to crumble a bit. And then we should be okay. I mean, obviously once we break through here, yes, we're going to be chilling. So yeah. Euro USD. Let's have a look at the old Euro USD. Do you know what? The only thing that puts me off this, all right, is the fact that Euro is obviously trading pretty much, right at the bottom below pound, and obviously US dollar's a bit unpredictable. today. However, I'm not going to write off. I do think it's due a retracement. We currently are trending. If we were to, I mean, this is a 30-minute kind of channel here. You could argue it's something like this. If that's the bottom of it, we could be due to pump up a bit. I would rather be looking to sell this. Where would I be looking to sell from? Probably this area here, and we can check to see what it's like with the Fibonacci. But obviously, I'm not writing off that it's going to continue to the downside because we are in a downtrend. Yeah, that's pretty much accurate. Can you see from, pre-marking? Right? Just an area where we've had obviously lots of support and resistance, and then obviously putting Fibonacci on, and it lines up. It means you don't obviously really need to use it because you can already kind of tell. But anywhere in this kind of area, I'd like to see something like this happen. Obviously, I wouldn't look for a long-term buy until we've broken out of this trend, probably this high here, and then obviously start to form this trend. But we'll wait and see. That's probably the only thing that I'll be a little bit worried, but I'm not writing off that this is gonna move up. I think this might move up probably even up here, maybe like 23 pips to the upside here. So you can trade the retracement because obviously there's a reason why you are entering it. But obviously you would have to be very aware around this area. There's quite a high probability that if it's going to turn, it's going to turn here. Let's just have a look at anyone else. When you say timing is key and needs to align with the area of interest, what times in particular? Okay, so this is, something that everyone has to work out their own trading, time frame, depending on obviously how your day, works. My day, I obviously like, and I'm very, very, lucky. I'm not tied with work. Obviously, I like to trade the opens or like half an hour after, or the hour after the first half an hour. So my trading times are probably 8 until 9, and obviously that's why I go live between 8 and 9, and then between 2 and probably 3. I've really, really, knuckled it down. Now, that's not to say that I don't check the charts in between and these trades don't carry on. I just want to be, once I'm in a trade, I'm chilling, I know that I've done my job, and obviously, managing a trade is a bit easier because, if you've opened it, you've got your targets, you know where you want to be, wary of. But obviously, so for example, if you look at GBP AUD here, I'm going to be wary, if I was looking at this here, I'm going to be wary around kind of this area here, right? If we obviously, turn around into profit, I'm going to be wary of this area here. Yeah. I know that pretty much if we do get this turn, then this is where I'm going to have to, worry. I mean, you could extend it slightly if you wanted, so this is where I'm going to have to kind of make my decision, of obviously what I'm, looking into. But it could be that you have, lunch break at 12, all right? Well, then you can kind of, you're not going to be able to obviously have an overall gauge of, London, but you're going to have a pretty good idea. I like the idea, and it's been working very, very well for me. I like the idea that, you want a trade to come to, you. So, you can spend a lot of time doing analysis. That's cool. I want you to do that. I encourage it. All right. But you want to then pre-plan. So when you're looking to trade, this is what you want to happen, and because I promise you, probably in the past, what I've noticed, right, and I didn't do it often, but what I noticed last year, and this is me personally, is I'd have lots of trades come to light probably about 11:30, right? And I think I lost 9 out of 10 trades, but they would line up like absolutely spot on. And then I made a decision that even if I've, watched some in, it's come up to an area, I'm still, if it's not in my training time, I'm trying to dictate to the charts. Like I only want to enter you if you're in, my time. I'm not going to enter it in your time. So, and I promise you, you need to find ways of cutting out your bad trades. Yeah, and this is one of mine. I do spend from seven, probably quarter seven until 8. Mapping out the charts. I'll spend probably not so much time in the afternoon because I do spend a bit of time afterwards after I've entered. In the morning, just mapping out trades. But obviously, I will have a very very good idea. So half an hour before I'm entering, they're looking at everything, making sure that everything's how I want it, and then obviously I can enter, at between 2:15 and 3. So rarely my entry times, are 1 hour in the morning, probably 45 minutes, but let's call it an hour in the afternoon. But it means that I am happy to, let trades run, let them go. But obviously, if you, wanted to do that, between, certain times, you can. Can you use the Britannia breakout strategy on the US Open? Yes, yeah, yeah, yep. So basically, this is the opening range that I use here. It's between +1 and 2. So you just draw a box round it. Technically, if you have a close out of it, ideally, probably 30-minute. And then I like to see a retest because otherwise you've got about 100 trades. All right, I promise you. You've got a lot of trade opportunities here. You end up entering everything and doing, nothing really. So yeah, you can. But yeah, so getting back to it, whatever times you're free, depending on your, work schedule, school runs, you want to obviously build your training around it. Look at this, working out very nicely. We've got GBP NZD in a little bit of profit, and then we've obviously got GBP AUD coming down very, very nicely. So let's wait and see. Obviously, the other one we had was AUD USD. Look at this. Perfect. Wow. Reaction to a T. That's what we like. So yeah, look how well this, level's holding, and that's going to be melting. Look at the dollar. Yeah, you can see the reaction here. So yeah, and I would imagine gold should be pumping. There we go. Look at that. Broken out. I mean, this is perfect. This and this, um, Eddie. This is like Britannia breakout, but obviously on gold. Look at this, broke out clean. Where does it retest? The top of the opening range, and then it's just gone here. So, wish I well, I don't trade gold very much. I probably only trade it in New York Session off the Asian high and low. That'll be the only times that I would trade it because it's so strong. And then there's a strategy called obviously the New York Kill Zone strategy, which I've got, which yeah, it's brilliant. But obviously it only really gives you one gold entry every single day, so you've got to be a bit patient. But I'm gonna I'm gonna end it here. Appreciate obviously everyone logging in. What I will try and do, I will try and do another. I might do an evening live tomorrow. So if you've got anything that you want me to run through, or if you just like hearing me waffle on about how much I messed up in my early years of trading, I've got loads of stories. So yeah, but yeah, no, I hope everyone has a great rest of the day. Well, Wednesday, and yeah, let's so smash it. Have a good one, guys.